What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Savoy. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Graham, who has not only shared the Savoy catalog, but recently suggested, and I agree, that while the most recent Savoy album, Under 2024, is fresh off the presses, so to speak, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go through the remaining tunes, by which I mean I've already reacted to a handful, a couple of them in video form, one of them I know in audio form, the Lonely Surfer one. Either way, he's made the full album available, so big shout out to you, and apologies to those who are very keen to go through in a logical, chronological process. Given discography, I promise I will jump back in time once we finish going through this, but I agreed with what Graham was saying. Given how fresh it is, it would make sense to listen to this. So yeah, ultimately we're going to listen to the next tune on the album I haven't heard already, which is to say it's the second track, and it's Station. Station, it can mean many different things. It could be a geographical place, it could be an actual physical facility, it can be a condition in longer life arcs, your socioeconomic station, your station in terms of seniority in some given context. Obviously, it's a single word title, so it doesn't have any context. But yeah, whether it's a station as in a train station, which, you know, it's a number of aha tunes and tunes that Paul has been, the writer for, where it speaks to either traveling or places where traveling is facilitated. It feels like it would not necessarily be wholly surprising if Station had that sort of rendering. But again, it's a single word title, there's no context, so let's listen and find out what Savoy had to say about it. This is Savoy, the tune is Station, and it's from the 2024 album, Under. Like the strings. Sounds like a physical place. The cleverness of that rhyme. Okay, it's sort of a compromise. I like the way that sort of just held the final moment and blurred it out. Yeah, a cool tune, and ultimately, it feels like it is very much a station where people might be departing. So whether that's a train station, which I suppose station, because airport is more like, it's you don't typically refer to that as a station. So I'd say train station seems most likely. I suppose it could be a bus station. It feels a bit more, on the lower end of travel. Either way, it sounds like temperatures are cold. It sounds like emotions are sad and lonely, and people are departing. Someone's leaving. So, yeah, it feels it all kind of lines up emotionally and physically and interpersonally. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a layer I'm missing, but it feels like that was at least some of the contours of the track. And again, it's another Beatles one. It feels, there's definite some Beatles vibes on this. I do like the different elements. Obviously, the string work, in particular near the end, was maybe my favorite sonic element. But again, vocals sounding good, a bit dreamy. I feel like there were some effects on them. And yeah, ultimately, I enjoyed the progression of the track. And in particular, I was thinking it was leading toward a fade out, and then it came back for one more iteration of the chorus, but it was really just the beginning of it, and then it sort of like paused and blurred it out to end it. So yeah, cool composition. It's funny, obviously, the Savoy education, as I will eventually get to this point, coming back around, it's still ongoing, but I hear continuity. Like, I hear, again, some Beatles vibes. Like, there's some moments where, like, I'm thinking of some of the rock sounds of Mary Is Coming. So it's like, again, maybe folks who know their music more fully and for a longer period of time will disagree. But, like, as I listen to that, I feel like, that it's very clearly Savoy in a way that's not terribly distinct from Savoy of earlier decades and albums. So again, there's a big gap in my knowledge between that earlier place and where we're going to go through for the next couple weeks, or next few weeks I should say. But ultimately, yeah, it's been a revealing thing to me that there is a lot of continuity over now like 30 years of time. So cool tune. Curious to hear what people have to say about this one. I have noticed, again, it seems like generally the Paul-led songs are viewed more positively, even by, like longtime Savoy fans, whereas the Lauren-led songs are more hit and miss. I enjoy a number of those, and I think her vocals fit very much the atmosphere of the group. But it has become apparent to me that by and large, it seems like people prefer the Paul songs on vocals versus the Lauren songs. Regardless, shout out once again to Graham for making this available on short notice, given that, I had just reacted to another video from it, which, people mentioned it was the same director as Life and Times of a Wannabe, and I suppose stylistically there's some of the use of color, all the little boats and so on, and the different outfits in the Life and Times of a Wannabe, which I think conceptually tied in, to what I've taken away from that tune, as I spelled T on myself apparently. But it wasn't just the colors, it was also the kind of the framing of some of the shots. It's close and it's farther away. Like, it's just, the feel of the videos wasn't terribly different, even as the subject matter and maybe the visual tone actually was like distinct. So yeah, again, I know it wasn't everyone's favorite thing, and people, some were questioning, like, I don't see the connection here. We're talking about birthdays and so on, and then it's like, she's dancing around with sparklers, which again, I take a very like long-term approach to understanding representative or like symbolic art. I don't always expect to understand it straight away, even if my brain is immediately trying to like figure out the contours. But yeah, ultimately, I was very interested by the conversation of, that you used to maybe see the band members, but now, like people like Graham and I think Sophia also were saying, like, they take it for granted now that we're not likely to see Paul. in the videos, but even so, I was intrigued by the the visual, thematic expression. So yeah, ultimately, I do want to though comment. Sophia, I think, is correct, and she was saying like, she worries that the video reactions will probably take away from the audio, not just retention, but in the moment appreciation. And I think that's absolutely true. So by and large, I'm going to try to react to audio versions of tracks first, and then if there is a video, do those at some point after that. Now again, there's some where I've already done it in the opposite order. I've reacted to a couple of the tracks from this album in video form. But I do think Sophia is right, and there were people very early on. I remember some of the Duran fans, when I was like, oh, at some point if I can do music videos, I promise I'll go through those. And there were a couple of like Duranis who were like, no, like, whatever you do, just keep doing this kind of reaction, because it's, it's a closer listen than a lot of people do, and a lot of people will get bogged down in the visual details, and it's almost like they're not really paying attention to the sonics and so on. That did make a big impression on me. It made me feel like, okay, like I don't have to feel bad that I'm, the main subject matter of my channel are the audio reactions. But even so, I do want to react to videos, but that's generally speaking what I'm going to try to do. Audio first for any given song, then video after. In any case, I've taken enough of your time. Do let me know what you think of this. Shout out to Graham once again. I will see you next time. Peace.